Iron Man. What to know? Critics' consensus. Powered by Robert Downey Jr. single quote vibrant charm, Iron Man turbocharges the superhero genre with a deft intelligence and infectious sense of fun. Read critic reviews. Movie info. A billionaire industrialist and genius inventor, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., is conducting weapons tests overseas, but terrorists kidnap him to force him to build a devastating weapon. Instead, he builds an armored suit and upends his captors. Returning to America, Stark refines the suit and uses it to combat crime and terrorism. Audience reviews for Iron Man. The film that began the Marvel Cinematic Universe couldn't have been done better. Amazing job behind the camera by Favreau, and a perfect casting for Tony Stark and RDJ. Smart script and well-exercised character. Iron Man. Action-adventure SCV. After being held captive in an Afghan cave, billionaire engineer Tony Stark creates a unique weaponized suit of armor to fight evil. Which A-list actors were almost in Iron Man? The Marvel Cinematic Universe launched with Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man, but he almost didn't get the part. See what other actors were up for the role. Storyline. Tony Stark. Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Son of legendary inventor and weapons contractor Howard Stark. When Tony Stark is assigned to give a weapons presentation to an Iraqi unit led by Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes, he's given a ride on enemy lines. That ride ends badly when Stark's Humvee that he's riding in is attacked by enemy combatants. He survives, barely, with a chest full of shrapnel and a car battery attached to his heart. In order to survive, he comes up with a way to miniaturize the battery and figures out that the battery can power something else. Thus Iron Man is born. He uses the primitive device to escape from the cave in Iraq. Once back home, he then begins work on perfecting the Iron Man suit. But the man who was put in charge of Stark Industries has plans of his own to take over Tony's technology for other matters. Halo 1K. Did you know? Trivia director Jon Favreau wanted Robert Downey Jr. because he felt the actor's past was right for the part. He commented, "The best and worst moments of Robert's life have been in the public eye. He had to find an inner balance to overcome obstacles that went far beyond his career." That's Tony Stark. Robert brings a depth that goes beyond a comic book character having trouble in high school, or can't get the girl. Favreau also felt Downey could make Stark a likable asshole, but also depict an authentic emotional journey once he won over the audience. Goofs at around 2 minutes, though it makes for a good kidnapping. In reality, U.S. soldiers are specifically trained to never to stop when ambushed in a convoy. Quotes. Last lines. Tony Stark. There's been speculation that I was involved in the events that occurred on the freeway and the rooftop. Christine Everhart. I'm sorry, Mr. Stark, but do you honestly expect us to believe that that was a bodyguard in a suit that conveniently appeared, despite the fact that... Tony Stark, I know that it's confusing. It is one thing to question the official story, and another thing entirely to make wild accusations, or insinuate that I'm a superhero. Christine Everhart, I never said you were a superhero. Tony Stark, didn't? Christine Everhart, Tony Stark, well, good, because that would be outlandish and, fantastic. I'm just not the hero type. Clearly. With this laundry list of character defects, all the mistakes I've made, largely public. Rhodey whispers to Tony, just stick to the cards, man. Tony Stark, yeah, okay. Holds up his notes and pauses. Tony Stark, the truth is. Puts cards down. Tony Stark, I am Iron Man. Crazy credit spoiler, a scene appears after the closing credits. Tony Stark arrives home to find S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury waiting for him so that they can discuss the Avengers initiative. This leads into the Avengers 2012, a superhero team of which Iron Man is a founding member. Alternate versions. German theatrical version was cut 4 minutes by distributor Concord prior to submitting the film to the FSK since they desperately wanted a not under 12 rating. Ironically, when submitting the uncut version for the home video release, it was rated not under 12 as well, making the cut version even more unnecessary. User reviews 1.5K. Fortunately, I'm not one easily influenced by some users' negative comments. These people should try to restrain their biased opinions and try to review the movies as neutrally as possible. Now I would say that this movie has slow but steady